Enable agents by going to Dashboard, then Agents. Then toggle the switch on to enable agents. Next, simply prompt the chat to set up an agent and describe what the agent should do. It's important to get really specific with this. For my app, I'll say, let's add an AI agent to the meal plan view so that users can make changes to their meal plan by simply asking the agent for them. They should be able to ask for things like, add a breakfast on Tuesday, change Saturday's dinner to be 4 servings instead of 2. I don't like quinoa, change Thursday's breakfast to a different recipe, and any other changes they want to make like that. Provide a Request Changes button, right-aligned on the same row as the meal plan and shopping list buttons. That button opens the chat modal, which provides several conversation starter buttons for the user to select from to show them what's possible in addition to the regular AI chat functions. Make sure that while the AI agent is processing, there's a clear loading screen or imagery. When you've got your prompt in, hit send. Now that the AI finished processing, we can see that it successfully added the Request Changes button to the meal plan page. Let's test it to see if it worked. Clicking the button opens a modal that has the conversation starter prompt buttons I requested, and we have a chat box at the bottom. Let's ask for a basic change, then hit send. It looks like the agent couldn't find the meal plan ID automatically to look up the data and change it. So let's ask the chat to make sure that the agent can get the meal plan ID based on whichever meal plan is open. The page will need to pass some data to the agent in the background. Now, I had this exact same issue a couple of times during that fast-forwarded section. Depending on how complex your app is or what you're asking your agent to do, you may need to do some debugging. Again, finding and squashing bugs is a normal part of developing any application. So I'll show you another technique for debugging so you have another tool in your toolkit. In my last message, I asked the AI to add some logging to help us identify errors with the app operations. Now, let's try to request changes again. Opening the chat window, we can see that the meal plan ID is now listed in the top part of the modal window, and clicking one of the default prompts sends the agent a message with the meal plan ID in it. It's not the most visually elegant solution, but this works for now. We can modify the approach to be more visually appealing later. For now, let's just get it working. The chat agent shows us that it's running a few functions, and then successfully adds a breakfast to Tuesday. Going to our Tuesday meal plan, I don't see the new breakfast though, so let's open our browser's console log to pass along the information it provides. Press F12 to open Developer Tools. You may need to hold the function key while pressing F12 depending on your keyboard. Then click the Console tab if it's not already visible. The console shows the data the app has logged during its operations. Let's screenshot this and pass it to the chat as a reference. Let's also explain the issue we just had to the AI and tell it to review the most recent agent conversation for details, and of course, ask it to fix the issue. Now in our meal plan, we can see that the recently created Tuesday breakfast now shows up. Let's request one more change just to ensure everything is working properly. I'll ask our meal plan agent to replace Monday's dinner with a double cheeseburger recipe. After some thinking, the agent says it was successful. And closing out of the chat, we can now see the cheeseburger recipe for Monday. Fantastic! The agent can now make meal plan edits for our users. If you ever need to manage your AI agents, go to Dashboard, then Agents. From there, you can see a list of all your agents and click Edit to see the agent's configuration. There's a Guidelines page where you can set a system prompt for the agent, basically instructions that apply to every user interaction. The Base44 AI has already configured this with detailed information, but you can tweak it here anytime without using any message credits. The Tools page shows how the agent gets stuff done. In our case, the AI added a backend function for managing user meal plans. You can also add more tools manually if needed. There's also a WhatsApp integration option if you want users to interact with your agent via WhatsApp. And if you close out of this modal pop-up, there's also a Conversations tab where you can review every agent interaction, which is super helpful for troubleshooting.